Well, yesterday was Halloween.
It was. That was a lot of fun.
That makes today Dia de los Muertos.
It does. That and tomorrow, yes.
Anyway, as part of our Halloween tradition, we go out looking for pumpkins.
Right. We did that on our very first date. We went pumpkin chunking, in fact.
Yeah, we launched some pumpkins from a trebuchet. But this year we went to Lagoon,
Right.
our local amusement park, because they decorate the place for Halloween.
They do.
And it's a lot of fun. But the number one thing we love to do when we come to Lagoon is ride the steam train.
That's just a lot of fun.
Because they're one of the amusement parks that runs actual live steam trains. I think there was a sort of long-standing tradition in the early days of amusement parks that everybody had to have a train.
I think it's a must, an imperative, in fact.
And, of course, if you wind the clock back not that many years, if you wanted a train, it had to run on steam.
Exactly.
That was the technology. Now, it says here that the Lagoon Railroad was established in 1886.
Wow.
So, of course, it had to run on steam.
Of course.
Now, this is, of course, not then, therefore, the original steam railroad here at Lagoon. This is the original steam railroad.
Oh, my goodness.
Lagoon was built by the Denver and Rio Grande Western. And they had part of the 3-foot gauge main line that came through from Colorado, and a little branch came out to the Great Salt Lake, where they built the Lake Park Pavilion. And then some years later, they moved the whole thing to its current location, just slightly north and east of there, in Farmington, Utah.
Right.
We actually did a whole history of the railroad on our series on the railroads of John Young.
Right.
And here's a link to that.
A fun one.
Years later, the Rio Grande sold the amusement park to the Bamberger Railroad.
Oh.
And then they established their main line, came right through the park here. Then later on still, the Bamberger Railroad sold it to the Freed family.
Oh, wow.
A car dealership.
Yes, I remember the Freeds.
And they still operate the park to this day.
Yes.
Now they have 3 different steam locomotives that they run here. This one is kind of a European prototype.
Right, a little bit different. So it looks like they're running them on some kind of propane gas.
I think so, judging from the smell.
Exactly.
And the pressurized tank in the tender.
Right.
This is the second of their locomotives, an American prototype. I kind of like this one more.
Yeah, I've always liked the bell stack. It's just really neat.
Yeah, it not only has the diamond stack, but an American-style cab, and I like it a bit more than the European one.
Me too.
Now, they have a third one, but it's not in service right now.
No.
And they had it on display, but I think now they've moved it probably to their warehouse. They only run one at a time. They never run both trains together, and on this particular day, they were running the European prototype.
Right.
But last time we were here, they were running the American prototype.
It makes for diversity, I guess.
Notice all of the wonderful steam controls in here. Just like on a full-size steam engine, you've got a Johnson bar and a throttle and the whole thing. I would call it a European prototype because it has round windows and it has buffers, those little bumpers between the cars.
Right. I'm always so happy when I see a tender being hauled behind the locomotive. So many models, they forget the tender.
Yeah, all trains should have a tender behind.
Exactly. something. The mosquitoes are still out. Oh, hello, dog. Charlie.
Now they have a train museum here at the park too.
Check out this little guy.
That's the original steam train from the original ride at the original Lagoon.
Whoa.
A lot of originals there. But here it is running in Farmington there somewhere right around 1900.
Well, that just looks like fun. Imagine having something like that in your yard you could play with.
And people did.
I know.
These were built by the Miniature Railway Company of New York City. They were right on Broadway.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine making trains on Broadway today? Anyway, it was run by the Cagney brothers, so a lot of people just call these Cagney locomotives.
I see.
Anyway, they ran this for years. Notice it was so small it could only haul children. And they replaced it years later with something that looked like an F unit.
Oh, really?
And when we were kids and I would ride the train out here, it was a gas-powered streamlined train that looked like an F unit and modern passenger cars. And then for the bicentennial. Remember all the goofy things they're doing?
Oh, no kidding.
But there are all kinds of historic projects put together in 1976 for America's bicentennial, one of which was restoring the 999.
Oh, neat.
And putting it back in operation here at Lagoon. This is a picture of two of the employees running the train, and it could still only haul children.
Oh, dear.
It's a 15-inch gauge engine. Anyway, somewhere around 1990, they gave up running it and tore up all the track. And they've ensconced the locomotive here in the train museum,
Right.
which is in Pioneer Village.
Oh, that is a lot of fun there.
That's probably the only reason we really go up there.
It's one of my favorite places, always has been.
The train museum is actually in the restored Kaysville Union Pacific Depot, which was originally purchased by Horace Sorensen to put in his backyard because he was building an entire Pioneer Village in his
backyard.
Yeah. And then as part of the 1976 expansion, Lagoon bought the entire village and brought it here.
Wow.
They also acquired the David Sperry train collection, and that's on display here in the depot along with these other train artifacts.
Right.
If you're into early tin plate toy trains, this is quite the collection.
This is one of my favorite spots to visit because I love this.
And there's so much to see here, you can just press your nose against the glass and just go, oh, check it out. You can spend hours in here doing that.
Right.
And I absolutely love the way Lagoon has displayed all of this. It's really tastefully done.
Oh, it is.
And the train museum is just a small part of Pioneer Village.
Right.
It's huge.
Oh, it's really neat. All the old buildings that's been brought there.
And thinking that most of this, not all, but most of this was in a guy's backyard.
That just, I can't wrap my mind around that, but yeah.
Including another railroad. He had a 12-inch gauge steam railroad running around and a whole bunch of original Rio Grande equipment.
Goodness. And here we have the one-room schoolhouse. You know, after working in the education system, I just cannot imagine teaching grades, say, 1st through 12th in a one-room classroom.
And as evidenced by all the desks are different sizes. As you graduate from one grade to the next, you move up from one row of desks to the other.
You'd be a busy teacher.
And the carriage house.
Right.
They built this huge facility, and it's all full of wagons, stagecoaches, all original.
Yeah.
And all perfectly restored.
Just wonderful.
This is a Creeder's popcorn wagon.
Oh, fun.
I love Creeder's popcorn wagons. It's so great.
And the best part is they have everything decorated for Halloween.
And like most amusement parks, it's now mostly modern roller coasters and modern attractions to attract people, but there's still a few of these old original rides.
Right.
And I think that's what brings us up here.
Oh, always.
I don't ride a lot of roller coasters anymore.
Well, yeah, trying to get on and off is a little difficult when you're older.
But our favorite is still the train.
I love riding it.
It's, well, we get a season pass, and we come up here, and the only thing we ride is the train.
Yes.
We walk around, we look at everything, and then we ride the train.
It's just fun.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed our fun little Halloween excursion.
Oh, it's been a blast.
And, it was nice having you guys tagging along with us.
Exactly.
And we hope to have you tagging along with many, many future adventures. And so we would like to ask you very nicely to subscribe to the channel. And the easy way to subscribe to the channel is by clicking on the upcoming blue button. Zoink! Right there, the blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Tuesday with a little teeny tiny bit more Halloween foolishness.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.